Spider-Man, Spider-Man. This is a different kind of Spider-Man. I love the Superior Spider-Man. I loved the idea of the Superior Spider-Man. I loved the Hydra version Superior Spider-Man. I loved the standalone comic book Superior Spider-Man, specifically what this one is. And this Superior Spider-Man was what drove me out of comic books for a while. Yes. And I know that when you say, hey, the Superior Spider-Man drove me out of comics, most people are talking about how that Spider-Man, when Peter Parker loses his body to Dr. Octavius and Dr. Octavius becomes Peter Parker and then that whole thing happens, that's what drove them out. That's not what drove me out. What drove me out was the hard reset to the status quo. I did an entire video talking about it. Like, it made me so mad to realize that I'd spent all this time reading Spider-Man, then reading Superior Spider-Man and doing things of that nature. And I get it. This is comic books. But I've mentioned it before. I love the Fantastic Four because they are always moving forward. Yes, the four characters will sometimes pivot out of the book. One character will step aside, two characters will step aside, maybe we have an entire different team, but they come back together at different points and we have the main four characters, yes. But that is because they are always moving forward. Life is always moving forward. Things are always changing. There's a new challenge, a new idea, a new adventure all the time. The Fantastic Four move forward. Spider-Man continually resets to the status quo and then attempts to climb the ladder back to where he was just to get booted back down to where he started, to climb the ladder back to where he was, to get fully rebooted, to climb the ladder back to where he was. It killed me. Watching Dr. Octavius advance as a person, realize that something was actually wrong with him. That yes, for all of his brilliance, there was something wrong with his brain. And it caused him to be the person he was. To watch Dr. Octavius run Peter's life for a while and make decisions that Peter should have made in the interest of growing up for years. And then to watch Dr. Octavius deal with the fact that he is not Peter Parker. Regardless of any superiority that he feels he thinks he has, he's not Peter Parker. Peter Parker is Peter Parker. And Octavius needs to be his own man. He achieves this by creating the clone body, DNA from Parker and from Octavius himself, fixes the brain disorder, transfers his consciousness into this body, and starts moving forward as a new hero. One that is arrogant, one that has the flaws of Dr. Octavius, one that has the body physique of Peter Parker, one that has the youth to make use of both of these factors and learn hard lessons moving forward. And one who is looking to prove that he is more than the man he used to be. And if it takes him his entire life to be worthy of forgiveness, that is what he's going for. Then, here comes Norman Osborn and a complete factory reset to chubby Octavius. I realized that having this character meant we weren't going to have Dr. Octopus anymore. And I realized Dr. Octopus might very well be people's favorite villain. And I get that. I do get that. But sometimes characters do what they're meant to do. The story pivots them to a certain place in the story, and we leave them behind because the story is done. That is storytelling. That's life. It's just the way that it is. And it always drove me crazy that they factory reset him and deleted this character. I love the Superior Spider-Man. I miss the Superior Spider-Man. I think he was mishandled by the way they ended that book. This should still be a thing today in modern comics, and it's not, because most all modern comics feel the need to hard factory reset, or at least soft factory reset, every like 5-10 years. And I don't feel it's necessary. So when I saw that they were doing this Superior Spider-Man, I jumped on it. Because if nothing else, if Marvel refuses to respect him, I'll at least put him on my shelf. Let's open him. So let me say this real quick. Yep, let me move that. I've said this a couple times, but it seems like all of a sudden, Marvel Legends would like you to pay attention again to Marvel Legends. Like, just, wow. First off, this Spider-Man is done on the Renew Your Vows body, which is easily, in my opinion, one of the best Spider-Mans I've ever seen. Except for maybe this part. This part seems different than the Renew Your Vows body, especially because there's the holes in his back. But it certainly would have made sense for this to be the Renew Your Vows body. I like this. This is a new sculpt piece right here, which of course is real to the character, so I get that. But the thing that really stood out was something they should have been doing with Spider-Man for years now. That head. That is awesome. That is the city reflected in Spider-Man's eyes. Like, here's the other head. That's an unbelievable detail. I mean, it's an unbelievable detail. That is extra solid. Now, we can do the arms, or we can do not the arms. We got two of these backpack pieces right here. So, we got a backpack piece that actually has the holes in it right here, so that you can actually put the arms in, and then you have one that doesn't have the holes, so you can not have the arms in. We have punching hands, web hands, and these really cool claw hands, because the Superior Spider-Man has these type of clawed hands. Kind of like 2099 used to. Or does. Well, so look, I'll set him up. Let me put all this on him. First off, let's run the backpack here. I don't know if I should have put that on before, or if I should have waited and got all of these on there and then worried about that, but we're doing it as we do it, so... Oh my. I am going to take that backpack off. Oh, that's a lot. It's a fair amount of pressure, which is good, because it means that once I get them in there, it's gonna stick. So, like, you push them in pretty good, and they do seem like once you push them in, they are gonna stay where you push them in at, which is good. Oh, this is crazy. Like, it's a lot, actually. Okay. So let's turn this like this. Okay, so let's put that on him, and let's see what we can get out of him. Let me run a couple of poses. Okay, so if I'm noticing any kind of issue with the arms, it's this. Naturally, they go this way. So the way the bins work is they kind of go back this way. You see that? And then there's a stopper point here, which you could say that these are supposed to go this way, and then that's fine. So that's what you're looking at. So you want to make sure that once you get them on here, you kind of want to turn them and then kind of give them that bend. Kind of go in there, work them a little bit. They feel pretty good. I was a little worried that maybe they would feel iffy, like maybe they would work against me or something like that. But it feels like as I'm playing around with them here, they seem to be holding their position once I get them where I kind of want them or whatnot. And that's solid. But do make sure that you kind of turn them because they are kind of wild the way that they're set up. They almost feel backwards. Like, I know they're not. That's just the way they kind of give you that feeling like they're almost backwards. But there. See, you can easily get them into whatever kind of thing you want as you play around with them. They do have a decent amount of versatility, and you'll be able to kind of straighten them out to do like long hits and stuff like that with them. This guy will do a lot of really cool posing. There's no doubt in my mind, especially since for the most part, most of his body seems to be the Renew Your Vows body, even with the feet where he actually has the toes. So we're looking at a Spider-Man that can get down into absolute ridiculous kind of cool poses. Like, I just think that this guy is absolutely cool. Like, I have no problem with him whatsoever so far. And I feel like the more I mess with him, the more he's going to be really solid. So, like, right now, right off the bat, I kind of got like this. And I'm just trying something in real time. Just trying to get at least one pose in real time to show you kind of what you're going to be dealing with. So, I'm going to counterbalance him a bit with the arms. Kind of put the foot like this. See if I can get something like this going on. I kind of want this arm to pivot out a bit and see if I can get it to there. I kind of want something like that, and I want his face to be kind of looking up. Maybe if I can get him lower to the ground. Something like this. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for right there. That's a real-time action pose right there. It took me about 3 minutes of messing around with him. Very simple, but it gets the basis for what I'm kind of working with here. And then we can kind of pick this one up, kind of drive this one back so it's kind of up, and maybe strike this one out. And then let's kind of do something like, let's give him a web hand, and let's give him one of these. I feel like that will work really well for what we're trying to do here. So I'm going to pull that off, put this hand on this expression clawed hand, and then I'm going to pull the other hand off right there and set the web hand up. So now I can easily kind of get something like where I'll bring his hand out, something like this, and then bring the other hand up, more like that. And I think there, I think I got it. I think I got a, in real time, really cool action pose there. Like, that's it. That's a primary thing that I want from him. And of course, as I give it more time and really mess with him, I'm sure that I can get this even better. To be fair, I just wanted to prove that in real time, I could get a really solid action shot. There, I can even get him real low to the ground like that. It kind of helps him. It's the body, man. The body alone was an absolute solid base, because we already know what this body's capable of, and then kind of messing with that on top of that to give him all the arms and everything that he's got. Like, it really opens him up there's almost, it's solid. This guy's solid. So is he a truly superior Spider-Man? Well, here's what I'll say. The arms are really cool. The back arms, and I definitely want them for the display. But he would come with a couple of problems. Realistically, he's going to take more space on the shelf because of those arms. That's real. At the same time, he has a very solid foundation because he's basically built off the Renew Your Vows body, which is a really solid body. It allows him to do quite a bit. Honestly, I didn't have any problem with his legs or his torso or anything like that. He is fine. The only questionable part is the arms, and as I worked with them and played with them, I did start getting things that I wanted, and you saw it only took me about 3 minutes to get a solid action pose, and I didn't have to try that hard. I really like the eye effect. I think that's absolutely fantastic, and I really believe that they need to start doing that with a lot of other Spider-Man figures in general. I like him a lot. I like him a lot. I'm going to put him on the shelf, and that's going to be interesting how I'm going to get him up there, but I'm more than happy to have added him to the shelf. Superior Spider-Man added to the shelf. I'm really happy with him. He does have a couple of concerns if you depending on what your interest is. I think he take excellent pictures. I think they're anytime you do a Spider-Man, you need the hands. We got the hands. We got the multiple heads. The new head is absolutely awesome. If you don't want those arms, if you just feel like they're going to take space on your shelf, you have the other backpack. So he comes with all the possible options one would need. Guys, Hasbro just all of a sudden said, look at us again. I understand that a lot of people were angry with Hasbro earlier, and I get that. But I'm looking and seeing a massive quality control that seems to be taking place. We're getting really solid figures. And I can't help but wonder if they're stepping up their game because they're starting to realize that they slipped. It became all about putting a figure out every week and just, who cares? Reuse the same body 20 times, just make a bunch of characters, remake the same characters, yada yada. Then all of a sudden they turned around and they were like, let's make figures count. And that's what I feel like I'm seeing all of a sudden. All of a sudden they have my attention. I'm buying Marvel Legends again. I was out of Marvel Legends for a long time. This was a hard cherry pick line. And then all of a sudden, now I've got 7 pre-orders. Hey, if they step up their game, I'll step up my spending on them, I guess. I'm gonna get out of here.
I have spoken. Take what you will from it.